Good day, class. My name's Mark,
I'm Gonzo.
and this is Dungeon Class. We're going to build a character together. And today, we're going to start talking about classes. All right, Gonzo, let's talk about class. All right, so first of all, there are how many?
We don't have any class.
Oh, that's rough. So how many classes are there, Gonzo?
We're gonna use the player's handbook,
Good point.
and on page 45 of your player's handbook, if you have one by now, is all the classes are listed, and there's actually 12 of them, and the class just means what you do. So we decided the player's handbook actually starts with rolling for ability scores, I think, first, and then picking your race, then your class. We kind of mixed it up just because we decided it.
We mixed it up, all right.
Yeah, we decided it'd be better to start with, when you're building a character, what do you want to be? So that's what the class is. Are you a fighter? Are you a magic user? Or do you do a little of both? And so we'll go through them.
All right, so I would say starting, Barbarian is the first one we're going to talk about. And Barbarian, as it says here, is a fierce warrior, primitive background who can enter a battle rage. Basically, they're like your Hulk kind of person. They're all about going there, anger, and use an axe, and no regard for their body, and pretty much, and that's that kind of class.
So that's a Barbarian.
All right, that's Barbarian.
My favorite. The Bard. The Bard.
Goodness.
This man, think of Bruce Springsteen. He uses music to not only woo his enemies, or he can woo them, or he can defeat them. He can charm somebody, or he can take them out. An inspiring magician whose power echoes the music of creation.
Right.
Beat that.
Blah, blah, blah.
Can't be beat.
All right.
I love bards.
Bards. Okay. Bard. All right. That's pretty good. Cleric. So a cleric is a priestly champion who wields divine magic in service of a higher power. So basically, the cleric is primarily a healer kind of person, a support person, but they can deal a lot of damage and all too. Traditionally, the cleric is a person who has access to a lot of healing spells. They can connect with a god and bring down heavenly powers and all. So a cleric is I don't know what kind of person would be like a cleric. An example like that.
Well,
Mother
Thor
Teresa.
is the cleric, and he's not a healer.
Yeah,
he's
that's
a
true.
storm cleric. The beautiful thing about clerics, and again, we're going to do videos on each of these classes where we can get more in depth. But the beautiful thing about clerics is they're very versatile. You can have everything from a nature-born cleric to a storm cleric to a healing cleric. So, yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot to cover there for sure.
All right. So what's next?
After cleric would be druid. Druid is your nature magician. I mean, it's a priest of the old faith wielding the powers of nature, moonlight and plant growth, fire and lightning, and adopting animal forms. They also are great shape changers and makes them one of the strongest classes in the game.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of reminds me of Poison Ivy from Batman.
That's good.
All right. Fighter. So a fighter is a master of martial combat. It's the typical what you think a fighter would be. They are skilled at combat. That's what they do. They're the masters of using weapons and all, and so that's pretty much a fighter. They're they're very versatile. There's a lot of different things they can do, but their skills where they really excel is straight up fighting. Like your typical
They're your tanks.
warrior.
Yeah. Barbarians. You put them in front. You give them a sword. You get out of the way, and they take care of business. They command the battlefield. You got to have a fighter. Everybody does. Every party does.
I agree. Captain America would be an example.
Yeah, perfect.
Good.
Your leader on the field.
Absolutely.
Perfect. The next one we have on the list here, on page 45, is monk. Monk, and I'll read it to you, is a master of martial arts, harnessing the power of the body in pursuit of physical and spiritual perfection.
Okay.
I would use Iron Fist as an example, but I didn't really like that show.
no, he's got anger problems. Bruce Lee, I think, would be kind of pretty much
awesome.
Using his fist.
They also have, and we'll get more into it, but they have an elemental monk, more like the last Airbender.
Okay. Right.
So very cool. That's a monk.
All right, so the Paladin is another choice. They're a holy warrior bound to a sacred oath. You think of kind of a knight. A knight has sworn an oath a sacred oath to maybe a god or something, or just to be a great person and try to save the damsel in distress. That's kind of your paladin kind of thing. They're a warrior, but they have access to some holy kind of spells and things as well.
Okay, yeah, that's good. A good example, I think, kind of would be Wonder Woman.
Well, okay.
As a paladin, I mean, we can think about that a little more.
No,
but
you're right.
She's not just a fighter; she has an oath that she lives by, and and carries that with her into battle.
Absolutely, very good. One thing we want to stop for a moment and point out that if you have a favorite class, we'd like to hear from you and hear what your favorite class is, Warlock, and put down in the comments what your favorite is. Also, please, we ask you that you subscribe and hit the like button. And the notifications bell. Ring that bell.
Hit it all.
Hit it all. Just hit all of those things. All right. So what about a ranger?
Ranger. That's the best example. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. The perfect ranger. The ranger is the warrior who uses martial prowess, which means his fighting skills, and nature magic to combat threats on the edges of civilization. This guy lives in the woods. He's your wilderness survival guy,
right?
And he knows how to track and how to do traps in outdoors and hunt for food. And we had a lot of examples. Aragorn was perfect. So, and we'll do more. But
okay, ranger.
Yeah, that's great.
So the next three we're going to talk about, Gonzo, they're all magic based. So
we got one more. Don't forget.
Oh well, almost
maybe the best
one of my favorite ones to play. How could I miss? Rogue. Rogues.
Because they're sneaky. That's why you almost missed it.
Yeah. So Rogue is the tricky kind of person, like Captain Jack Sparrow. I think is a good example of a roguey person. A scoundrel, person who picks locks. They prefer to operate in the shadows. They come in, backstab you, or sneak attack kind of thing, and they're sneaky. Well, they can bring some big damage. That's why I like playing rogues.
Yeah, they all stealth and trickery and
right.
Disarming traps, all of that. So, if that's the way you like to play, that's definitely the class you should pick. And now we have the.
What I was going to say was these last three are all magic based, and they can be kind of confusing. You have sorcerer, warlock, and wizard. So, what makes a sorcerer different from the other two?
The sorcerer, think Scarlet Witch of the Avengers. Sorcerers are born with their power. They didn't learn it. They didn't make a deal to do it, like the warlocks. But the sorcerers are actually born with their power. They have an ability to make their spells. They can double them. They can make them go farther. They can do all kinds of things. There's also a wild sorcerer that can accidentally turn somebody into a potted plant, or do something crazy. So there's all kinds. But sorcerers are very powerful and have a great spell list to choose from.
And one of my personal favorites is the warlock. The warlock is kind of a darker version of a magic user, but they draw their power from a deal that they've made with an extra planetary entity on the other side. So basically, that's what a warlock kind of person is. But I like warlocks because they're necromantic kind of things. They often derive their power from a kind of a darker thing. So, but that's what I like about warlocks.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And then the last one is wizard. Now, wizard is the one that has the widest spell book to choose from. The widest array of spells.
Okay.
And they also, they learn their stuff. So they carry a spell book around with them where they write these things down. They can even learn from different scrolls and things that they find.
Right.
And they embody magic using. It says here, scholarly. This is a class, right? A scholarly magic user capable of manipulating the structures of reality.
That sounds like Doctor Strange.
If you level up your wizard all the way up, you can choose something called the wish spell. So that's how powerful they become.
Yeah, wish is awesome.
Doctor Strange, exactly.
Yeah.
Bending time.
Yeah, definitely powerful. Very good.
So those are the 12 classes we have to choose from to build our character together.
All right, so how are we going to choose? How are we going to choose which one we pick?
There's 12. We pick Bard and we move on.
Oh, whatever. No, why don't we use Heart of the Dice, Gonzo? Heart of the Dice. We're always preaching that. Why don't we roll a D12 and that'll be our class we pick.
All right,
roll it, dude. It's the one that has a 12 on it.
Yeah, I see. Here's 12. Okay, this is going to determine our character we're going to build. So we're starting 1 is Barbarian, 12 is Wizard.
Okay. No Bard.
What do we got?
Where
2.
do you even go? 2.
Bard.
Oh, whatever.
I don't know
rigged.
if the camera needs to, he's confirming.
What
it
kind
is
of
a 2.
nonsense? Oh, wait, that's the 20. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
it's a 2.
It's a 2.
All right, so we are going to build a bard. Heart of the dice for real right there.
Unbelievable.
So that's perfect. So on our character sheets, you're going to fill in where it says class. You're going to fill in bard. We're going to start at first level, so you'll write that in. We need a name for this bard. And I always think of powerful musicians. So my bard that I created, his name was Sean Bon of Giovi.
That's a good one.
Reminded me of Bon Jovi, and he used his music to, to conquer the battlefield. So,
maybe something Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen. Let's say his last name's Springsteen.
Okay.
I'm gonna put that down.
All right.
Come up with a good name.
Springsteen.
Springsteen.
And let's see. We'll call him
Springsteen.
Rollo. Rollo. I was gonna say
Rollo Springsteen.
Rollo.
There's our bard. Rollo Springsteen.
Just like that. That's how we come up with names.
And he's a bard. All right. I think that's all we want to cover in this video. And then the next one, we'll move on with building this character.
All right. Until next time.
Class dismissed.